Let me show you how to make this cake. So when I bake the cakes, I always place them on a napkin and then on saran wrap and put them on the fridge. And this is to keep them fresh until the next day when I'm ready to cut. It is easier to cut or level a cake when it has been chilled. So right now I just grab my knife and start leveling the cake. I'm gonna put it aside and I'm gonna put some buttercream on my board. Then I place the first layer of cake. I'm gonna fill it up with some chocolate mousse and repeat these steps until I am done stacking the whole cake. If you would like to know the recipe for the chocolate mousse, I'm gonna leave the link on the description box below. It is delicious and it is from a chef. I think his name is Dominic Ainsel. I need to check that. I want to start icing my cake with American buttercream, and to get this color I use a combination of brands and colors. So I use the American color, the neon purple, the regal purple, and from Welton I think I use a burgundy. Also I added some lecithin so the shade will be a little bit darker, and it took quite some time to get to this shade, but it was worth it. So I'm gonna scrape the excess of buttercream with my scraper, and I'm gonna smooth the sides. At the same time, I'm gonna smooth the top, but I'm gonna have to put it on the fridge before cutting the excess on the top. And that's because if I put it on the fridge, it's gonna chill, and I'm gonna be able to cut the excess just with a knife. If you have any little holes or parts that you need to fill, you can do so right now because the cake is cold. So if you add some buttercream, it sticks to it, and the buttercream that you're adding, it gets hard too. So it's easy to do it right now. So now I just piped a kind of like a ribbon of buttercream, and with my brush, I'm pulling my buttercream up. As you can see the stripes of my brush. So at this point the brush is dry and it's pulling the buttercream very nicely, but if you want the strokes to be more subtle, I recommend dipping your brush in water and then passing it on again. So now we just have to repeat the same process but with a black buttercream, and I'm gonna do the same. I'm just gonna pull the buttercream up, making those strokes. And the good thing is that you can go back and pull that buttercream a little bit more if that's what you want. I actually love how the strokes look, very organic, and you can repeat the process if you wanna a little bit higher. Just add some more buttercream and do the strokes. Now I just clean the edges and I'm gonna put the cake on the fridge. So let me move on into making the sugar cell. On my pan I'm gonna add some sugar, water, and light corn syrup. You can find the recipe on the description box below and a link to the full tutorial over here on the top corner of this video. I'm gonna heat up this mixture until it reaches 302 Fahrenheit. Since I am using light corn syrup, it's harder for my mixture to crystallize. So anyway, I don't move it, I don't mix it with a spoon, I just move it around. Once it reaches the temperature, I'm gonna remove it from the heat, and I'm gonna add a couple of drops of food coloring. In this case I use exactly the same colors as for the buttercream. Now I'm gonna pour this mixture in my silicone mat, and I'm gonna let it rest maybe for about 10-15 seconds, and then I'm gonna lift up my mat and put it on top of something that is tall. In this case I used a tumbler, and I gather the mat with some clothespins and let the sugar cool off. You can use a torch to manipulate a little bit more of the sugar until you're happy with the form that it takes. Just be very careful when using the torch. Once the sugar cell is cool off, you can remove the clothespins and the silicone mat. Be very careful. All you have to do is pull it, just be careful with it. I'm just gonna manipulate a little bit more of the sugar because I was not very happy with this little part of the sugar cell. So I'm using a spoon, and at certain points I just heat up the spoon just a little bit so I can manipulate the sugar and give it the shape that I want. So I just got my cake out of the fridge and I'm gonna be placing the sugar cell on top of it. Just find the place that it looks the best. I'm gonna start adding some decorations. I started with some leaves and some figs. For some reason I just love how figs look in as a decoration on a cake, so that's why I'm using them in this one. Especially with these colors, they look just amazing. So I'm using the figs, some blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries, and that's all the berries, I think. Some of the figs were cut into pieces and they just look amazing like that. With the fruits all arranged, I'm gonna add some gold highlighter to my sugar cell. I think it looks very pretty. And the way I add it is I mix the powder, the highlighter powder, and I put it with some alcohol, or it can be also lemon extract, and just make like a little paste. And with a brush, I'm just painting the edges of the sugar cell. And there you have it. It's ready to take some beautiful pictures, cut it, and enjoy it. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.